new hot and techy Brezza, the city-bred SUV.
RCB are up and running in IPL 2024. They bounce back from their defeat on the opening day to the Super Kings. They inflict upon the Punjab Kings their first defeat of this campaign, and they continue the trend of home teams winning in the first 4 days of the tournament. It had its moments where the Chinnaswamy was silent, but that was only after a Virat Kohli masterclass in a chase that we've seen so often, but it's nice to see that we can still see it. Well, he's still way younger than Dinesh Karthik, who had his commentators who shared the box with him a few months back, just calling his magnificent finish to ensure that they got the job done. So we look back at a game of incident, of questionable death bowling tactics, and plenty more on Maruti Suzuki Arena presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout in the company of Mitch McClenaghan, Wasim Jaffer, Tom Moody, all of whom did back RCB to get the job done. It took the 38-year-old Dinesh Karthik in his last season. What a last season he's having, Tom Moody. Let's just go with the finish, because that partnership of DK and the impact sub Mahipal Lomro has ensured that RCB don't bottle this like Mumbai did yesterday.
Yeah, that impact sub, did have a momentum shift, and it was a good play from RCB. Lomro obviously had to do the job, and he came out and had an instant influence on the game. It was an interesting game in that I think Punjab lost the game. I didn't think RCB won the game. Once.
Why would you say that?
Well, I just think once Kohli was dismissed, it was very much in Punjab's hands, particularly with what they had left at their disposal bowling-wise. They had very much control of it. And when you look at that game and you look at two bowlers from the Punjab ranks that bowled 8 overs and took 4 for 36 in Rabada and Bra, that's their numbers. There's only 12 overs left to bowl.
And about 150 runs to defend.
What's gone on there? So that is an absolute disaster, because two standout individual bowling performances and they couldn't get over the line.
Okay, that game actually has to be dissected into two halves. One is almost pre-Kohli and post-Kohli. It's like we can almost define an era of cricket like that, before Kohli and after Kohli. So let's look at the after Kohli bit. That's when Punjab felt, with Maxwell gone, Kohli gone.
Yep.
That's their game that Tom Moody points out. Now, as someone who's closely watching death bowling, there were a number of moments where you just went, no. What were those moments?
There were a lot of moments, you're right. First and foremost, I think it was when Sam Curran got the breakthrough. The next ball that he tried to bowl, he tried to just bite off too much with the next delivery. Tried to York Lomro straight away, whereas he's still got to get in, right? He's the last of the recognised batter, and he bowled the next ball after he got hit for 4 was the right ball to bowl, which was that hard length off stump. And you've got to back that he can still nick that ball or can deck back and get him caught in front. And I feel like that kind of just created the momentum for the rest of that over, and Sam leaked a couple of overs, which gave them the momentum of that partnership, which would have had to rebuild and maybe launch a little bit later in the innings. But Harshal Patel, the confidence of him as a bowler at the moment, it looks very, very low, and it's kind of carried on the flow from the last season. Unfortunately for him, a couple of questionable decisions. Bowled a couple of bounces throughout today without fine leg back, and if he wants to bowl without the bouncer without the fine leg back, he needs to change the line of that delivery. So, a little bit of inaccuracy from him at the death.
We spoke so much about Harshal Patel, didn't we, Wasim? And this game would have meant a lot to him. Coming back to RCB, you released him and yet picked up for big money, a ground that he's familiar with. Now, it's not an easy ground, but for a player of his experience, is that, again, a performance that just isn't good enough?
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, didn't we? And then again, the same kind of mistake, the balls that he chose to bowl in those situations. He had Dinesh Karthik, LBW appeal. They wanted to take the review. It was timed out. Yeah. And the next ball, he tried to bowl a bouncer.
With fine leg in.
I mean, questionable again, tactics. The execution wasn't there. And then we talked about every time he gets hit in those areas and he keep backing those deliveries. So he's under pressure without a doubt, and he was the one who needs to be delivered. It was their game, and those deliveries in those moments, is a lot to be desired.
Well, the big issue I see with Harshal Patel is that he's lost that magical slower ball.
Yeah, the loopy one.
Yes, so he can bowl a moderate slower ball, but anyone can bowl, just a standard slower ball. What gave him that real edge for a couple of seasons was that really good slower ball that dipped. So a lot of batters felt like the ball was coming waist height at them, better to dip and it'd be sort of on a good length or up underneath their feet. He's lost that, so therefore he's just gone back into a medium pace bowler that's trying to find different ways to close down the opposition. So he's lost that X in the factor.
Okay, I think we're going to have a more detailed chat on Harshal Patel as we move forward with the Punjab Kings games. But let's focus now on the winning side. And in fairness, Virat Kohli for a large period of that innings has played the kind of innings that, as it turns out, they just could not lose from. And it is a refreshing innings. We've seen it before from Kohli, but with all that's going around with the World Cup selection, etc., and how India want to see him play. 77 of 49 and 11 fours and 2 sixes, striking at 157, which, dare I say, when he's dismissed is perhaps the lowest he struck, because he went consistently at a 160, 180 strike rate. Most impressive parts about that innings for you, Tom?
The way he got away, obviously he had a life early on. Johnny Bairstow dropped him at slip. You'd expect that to be taken, at this level 9 times out of 10, if not 99 times out of 100. So that was a real miss. And once that opportunity was gone, I just liked the way that he took the game on still. And he played some really good shots. His very first shot against Rabada was really a statement shot. It was a case of, I'm going to boss this here, and he came down the wicket and hit him over extra cover. So he set out to play that sort of positive brand, which is what, a lot of people are calling for, because we all know Virat Kohli's got many gears, and he certainly showed that, he's got plenty left in him.
Yeah, I'll come to those moments of fortune in a second, but if you just analyse actually what happened while Kohli constructed that innings, he was 77 of 49. At the time that he was getting his innings made, the rest of the RCB batting got 38 of 47. So this is a very stark contrast, and something that often Kohli cops criticism for, where others may go hard or forced to go hard, but he sort of stays put. This is an outstanding T20 innings, isn't it?
Yeah, it was, and he took ownership. I think that's probably the most critical thing to point out, that he wanted to win that game and take it deep and get that significant score, knowing full well that they had collapsed in the previous game, and there might be some of those mental jitters from a few other players around them. I think he took ownership of the whole innings. And what I did like is that he identified and navigated his risks, which was Brada, left-hander, left-arm ortho spinner, and then also Rabada. And I thought he sailed those waters quite smoothly.
Dropped at least a couple of times. There was, I think, the catch on the boundary also was that Kohli?
Well, there's no hand on that.
Right.
But if you're fielding coach, you'll be kicking the chair in front of you in the dugout, because one of the things you talk about at a venue like Chinnaswamy is your outfielders don't need to walk in. You sit back on the boundary, because most balls sail over the top of your head. If he was in the right position, that's out. But he was, 4 or 5 metres inside that boundary, had to try to track back and had no chance.
Yeah. And the first wicket, the edge off Sam Curran was a significant one. Johnny Bairstow letting that go through his hands. That is your 101 mode of dismissal as a left-hand bowler to Virat Kohli. That ball that goes across him on 6-7 stump that's over the stumps. Johnny should have done better with that, unfortunately, for Punjab. He didn't, and I guess the rest is another remarkable innings from Virat Kohli.
Yep. Keep your questions coming, guys, and comments as well. I'm happy to try and take as many to the panel as I can. Vaibhav says Virat was hitting the ball in the air from the word go. The first one went through the fielder's hands in the air, but after that, I take your point, which is not the way he plays. He's giving a statement to the selectors. Rocky says the Kohli innings today, and he puts it to Wasim Jaffer. That is he sending a statement to selectors to pick him for the T20 World Cup? That's assuming they haven't decided that they are going to already anyway.
Yeah, I mean, he's done enough for him to, prove. But look like, he put the foot on the pedal from the start, and, he was batting in the 5th gear from the start. The moment Maxwell got out, I think he took a back seat, and then he tried to play the situation. But up until then, he was running, hard, and really fast. That was a good, pleasant surprise to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Vicky Sarkar after the drop catch, Sam Curran's 2 easy boundary balls down the leg, and Harshal Patel's bluff bouncer cost them the match. I like that phrase, bluff bouncer. It is what it was, right? Because he clearly, even the captain didn't set the field for him. Was that just pressure, or was that just the bowler taking a huge gamble and...
Yeah, I think from bowling point of view that there was a gamble, and sometimes you do take those punts. But in terms of if you are going to bowl a bouncer with the field he had point and cover back and then 3 guys on the leg side. That line of that bouncer, if you are going to bluff with a bouncer, needs to be outside off stump. You're trying to get him to try and pull the ball from outside off stump to hit the ball straight up with the protection out on your offside. So in terms of that line, he just missed when he was bluffing with the bouncer with short fine leg up, unfortunately for him.
It's a serious concern though for Punjab Kings. They've got names, Arshdeep, Sam Curran, Harshal Patel, even Rabada, but they've got question marks over their death bowling. If Arshdeep doesn't bowl well, Sam is not bowling well, Harshal obviously is struggling, Rabada doesn't bowl in the death. That puts a serious question mark with some big names.
So how quickly do you look at rejuggling your order, your team? I know it's only 2 games in. Does Arshdeep come in straight away, or do the Punjab Kings have a local batter who can come in for, say, a Johnny Bairstow, and you bring a quality death bowler in Nathan Ellison? Do they have the resources to be able to do that?
They have Atharva Tayade, who did well last season, so he can probably come in and bat 3. But I wonder they can go to that situation. Johnny Bairstow after a couple of games, but it's a serious concern with their bowling.
Yeah. Divyang says internationals like Bairstow and Arshdeep need to deliver for Punjab to qualify for the playoffs, and both are looking out of form. Well, that's concerning, because I think Arshdeep is also very much part of the India scheme of things. He, along with Bumrah and Siraj, would be right up there for the T20 World Cup selection. So I'm sure they'll be keeping a close eye on him. But yeah, early days in the tournament, so you can just give it some time. They won 1, lost 1, but it is an area of concern. Bangalore did something different in their chase from just 1 game, even though it's early days, and they sent in Cameron Green at 3 after having Rajat Patidar play that role at the Chepauk. So let's ask the panel why they think they did that. Green at 3, Patidar at 4, and pushing Maxwell down. The reason for the reshuffle, Tom Moody?
I wish I had an answer for you, Raunak. To be honest with you, we all thought it was what it should have been in the first game, and maybe they reassessed things, or possibly they're thinking at the home venue they want Green to possibly, if they lose an early wicket, go in early and try to take advantage of the power play. That's another thinking.
The correct answer was that they've been watching our show. I'm sure they're analysts and the team have been watching the show. We called for it the last game that he's more effective up there. Yeah. Would have seen the stats that our great teams put up in the show as well. So maybe they're taking
what they've been doing before the show.
Exactly.
Okay, just giving you all our love, Andy and Freddie and whoever else from that team is watching. Yeah, we're always here to help you out. But if you need our help,
don't trust us too.
Oh, it's a sad story in and of itself. Right, excellent entertainment at the Chinnaswamy. Once again, your money's worth, and from what I gather, there's quite a bit of money that you have to pay to get a ticket on festive day like today. But it's time for a rapid-fire review of the game. The panel is familiar. I pose some questions to them, and they respond in 20 seconds or less. Tom Moody, Punjab's batting, death bowling, or catching, what hurt them most today?
I think ultimately, I think they're death bowling, because they found themselves in a position where they should have won the game, and that was still with a few drop catches, and they had the quality in death bowling, but they failed to deliver it.
Okay, Wasim Jaffer, please rate Virat Kohli's intent and approach today. Your 20 seconds start now.
Well, it's 10 out of 10, and exactly how you want Virat Kohli to play. He can play the situation, but it was refreshing to see him, put the foot on the pedal from the start. He doesn't do that normally. He plays the situation, but I think it was real purpose in that inning. And obviously, once Maxwell got out, like I said, then he played the situation.
All right, Mitch McClenaghan was picked up for big money for the death over specifically, but do Punjab need to start looking at other options than Harshal Patel for the death? Your 20 seconds.
Yeah, I think they have to start considering it. I'll lean on Tom after the show as a coach, how quickly you'd start adjusting that in real time. I think they need to start considering, do they have the batting to swap out maybe a Johnny Bairstow and bring in a test specialist like Nathan Ellis?
Okay, that's good. Everyone's nailing it with their time. Wasim, on Punjab's batting, are they still going in a batter short? Even that change doesn't fix the depth of their batting. Do they still need another batter in that team? 20 seconds.
No, I mean, Shashank Singh, I think, did a good job. He's playing in place of Shahrukh. So I think the batting is covered. I mean, the batters are not clicking. That's a concern, without a doubt. But I think Shashank Singh coming at 7 and then Brar can by Harshal is actually calls himself an all-rounder. So they haven't sent him up, at number 8.
And one more for you, Tom Moody. Given Mahipal Lomro's impact, is this likely to stay the Bangalore combination, which was tweaked from the first game? Your 20 seconds start now.
No, I don't think so. I think the impact sub's going to change depending on your opposition, the venue that you're playing, and the situation of the game. And they played it quite well. They sort of read the situation of the game. They would have had a couple of options up their sleeve with regards to how they're going to go about it, and they got it right.
Okay, brilliant. Fascinating summation of the game today. And I tell you, it was close even in our impact zone because of the players that these fine gentlemen picked. They had some that performed, some that didn't. So I'm very curious to see what the results are. Let's head into the impact zone. Now, just a quick reminder, every day before the game, Mitch, Tom, Wasim will pick 3 players. And while it's a batter or bowler, we've tweaked that all-rounder rule already. We like to make up rules as we go along, at least I do. And you get points as per ESPN Cricinfo's smart stats for the players with the maximum impact. And that's a more accurate way of reading a player's performance in T20 cricket than just conventional stats, which often never tell the full story. And you get 3 points in your season tally if you win the game. Now, Mitch and Tom were both victorious on the doubleheader Sunday yesterday. Let's have a look at Monday's results. Monday brings new hope.
He was smiling the
renewed
whole
hope for
way.
Wasim Jaffer. And it was close, 127. Do that again, Wasim. The graphic was on. Oh no, the graphics come back. Do it again, Wasim. Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
That is brilliant. Got a little Punjab celebration also in there. Very nice. Let's look at that now on a serious note to see how we went. Kohli, what a huge impact that is. He got 75, but 97 is the impact value of that innings. Harshal Patel, well, that would have gone down.
6.
Rabada, that's why the impact points are so good. You could see the impact Kagiso Rabada did. And for Tom Moody, the likes of Glenn Maxwell, more with ball than with bat. Huge double strike in the first innings, and Shikhar Dhawan there as well. Arshdeep, Faf du Plessis, unfortunately recording negative impacts. So that is the results.
Yeah, how are you feeling? A couple of bad performances in a row?
No, I'm fine, mate. I can bounce back. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep you guys in the game.
I think the notebook has helped.
Definitely did. Bringing the notes. What a masterstroke.
Like Tom says, I've been up the night doing the homework.
And I heard you panicking as well when I picked Rabada. You're like, oh no, Rabada.
No, I had few names written down. that was the hard work.
No sooner had my question finished than I said, Wasim Kohli. So he literally said Kohli is ready today.
Kohli and Chinnaswamy,
yeah. Excellent. He knew what he was doing, Wasim. And he also gave us a very good prediction. Kohli more than 60, I think is what you said. On fire. Do you know how I'm going to reward Wasim? I'm going to give him the day off tomorrow. He can rest on his laurels for his hard work today, but no such privilege for Mitch McClenaghan and Tom Moody. I hope to see you fine gents back tomorrow. Thank you very much to Wasim Jaffer as well, and thank you for your company. We continue to invite your questions and comments as the season has only just begun. What a good one we've got tomorrow. The Super Kings against the Titans, a repeat of the final from last year. 2 young captains, and that's a completely different storyline that we look forward to building up on Maruti Suzuki Arena Presents ESPN Cricket for Timeout. Download the mobile app if you haven't already. Have you covered with everything that's happening from the IPL, and yes, the rest of the schedule is out, so get up to speed on that. We will see you for Build Up on Tuesday. Good night.
All new hot and techy Brezza, the city